And last one from me. Earlier today, Islam Makhachev did an interview and said he's not ruling out coming back down to 155. But if it was up to you, would you rather fight him at 170 to get that third title, or would you be willing to fight him at 55 because that's the division that people say he might be the best at?
It would be much better for me to fight him in 170, and I will beat him and get the third title. That will be the best scenario for me.
Una cosa que respeto sobre Khabib, de verdad, el tipo es de verdad súper respetuoso, ¿sabes? Nunca dice nada de nadie, la gente habla un montón, él nunca dice nada de nadie. Yo he mencionado a Islam y han salido los primos que nunca jamás han noqueado a nadie, los pillan por esteroides, son súper tramposos y de repente saltan. Lo único que me indica es que tienen el sistema nervioso dañado por tomar tantos esteroides, porque es lo primero que daña, ¿sabes? Amenazar a un peleador con cuando nos veamos te voy a pegar, es como, chico, me dedico mi vida a la pelea, ¿sabes? Que sea un poco más creativo. No sé qué puedo decir. Su mejor es Islam.
You said that you're ready to go up a division. There's a tweet from Ilia Topuria that he can go up the weight and he can beat you with no problem. What do you think about that?
Не знаю, еще столько соперников, и все хотят меня там в первом, во втором раунде финишировать, все говорят об этом. Но я же сказал, сделайте 70 килограмм, заходите в клетку. И посмотрим, кто кого финиширует там.
There's all these opponents, they all say they want to finish me in the first or second round. I already said, if you can make 155, you can get into the cage. Let's talk about it then.
Then Ilia Topuria. Here, there seems to be a story brewing, and there's two different versions, as is common in MMA. Not to mention there's two different languages being spoken. Like, I understand the entire thing, but let's just look at the scorecard real fast. 1 year ago, I remember where I was. It was one of those moments because I was in Las Vegas filming The Ultimate Fighter, getting ready to destroy Daniel Cormier. And get this news. Get this news that Ilia Topuria is leaving the 45-pound title behind. He's going up to 55, and he's going to instantly contend for a world championship.
This clip is the perfect opener, setting the stage for the explosive press conference brawl between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev. It immediately plunges us into the heart of a rivalry that's been simmering, highlighting Ilia's audacious move to Islam's division. This wasn't just a weight class change. It was a direct challenge, a gauntlet thrown down, igniting the very first sparks of this heated conflict. Topuria wasn't just contending. He was declaring war on the lightweight division, with Islam firmly in his sights.
And I remember pushing back. I remember arguing about that. Because Ilia was working so hard in the media to get himself a title shot. I did not feel that it was wrapped up, like it was a little bow tie. Hey, here's the deal. You're the 45-pound chap. Slide up here. We'll do this whole champ routine. I didn't have that feel in conjunction with Ilia working so hard. Now, at that time, just to remind you of the landscape, you had Charles Oliveira, who was ranked #1, that seemed to be waiting in the wings for a rematch against Islam, which you, the audience, by the way, seemed on board with. And it was a number of weeks later.
Chael Sonnen's insight here is crucial. He's exposing the political landscape surrounding Ilia's move, questioning the narrative that a title shot was just wrapped up for Topuria. This isn't just about weight classes, it's about media influence and the rightful pecking order. Chael highlights how Topuria was aggressively campaigning, attempting to bypass established contenders like Charles Oliveira. This aggressive media attack by Ilia was already disrupting the lightweight division's balance, even before any official fight was announced, adding fuel to this simmering brawl.
It was like 3 weeks later. I'm still in Vegas, still doing this filming just for proximity within my own mind. We get the same announcement, and it's Islam. Islam is going to leave 55 behind. He's going to go up to 170. And he is expected to get an immediate title shot. So you now have Ilia that left his belt and went after Islam. Very important. It's an extremely important part of the story. As a matter of fact, I'm not convinced that it isn't the entire story. This entire story.
This is where the verbal brawl truly intensifies. Chael lays out the timeline, painting a damning picture. Ilia moves up, targets Islam, and then Islam leaves the division. Sonnen's conviction that this is the entire story speaks volumes. He's essentially accusing Islam of tactical retreat, avoiding the challenge Ilia so clearly laid out. This isn't speculation. It's a direct narrative of one fighter pursuing and another seemingly evading, a core component of this explosive press conference brawl that keeps fans hungry for answers.
When I recount this story, it struck a nerve with Islam. He did not like that. He did not like that Chael calls him a coward, which I must tell you, never happened. I don't call him a coward now. I'm telling you, Ilia Topuria came in the division, tried to fight him. Islam did not give Ilia the fight. As a matter of fact, Islam left the division. There's no talk of a coward. This is what happened. Now, it seems that that's the one that eats at Islam the most. I mean, it just seems like that.
This clip perfectly encapsulates the press conference brawl element. Islam's agitated reaction to Chael's retelling of events shows just how deeply this narrative cuts. Sonnen clarifies he never called Islam a coward, but merely stated the undeniable facts. Ilia pursued, Islam evaded. This defensive posture from Islam in response to the factual timeline fuels the fire, making it clear that Ilia's actions and Chael's subsequent commentary struck a raw nerve, pushing the lightweight champion to defend his movements in this public dispute.
To last year, going into Madison Square Garden, where Islam was going to take on Jack Del Maddalena, all of the talk was about Ilia. As a matter of fact, the rumors that there's going to be a card at the White House and what's going to main the event and who's going to fight, all of the talk is about getting Islam and Ilia together. Okay. So, there is now, right here, today, Islam is upset with Ilia and saying, you're the one that cost the fight. Don't pretend that it's not. And he's talking about the White House. Hey, we were offered this fight.
This segment demonstrates just how long this rivalry has been simmering, extending back to the Madison Square Garden talks. Even then, the buzz was all about a potential clash between Islam and Ilia. This isn't a new development. It's a sustained narrative that highlights Ilia's continuous attack on Islam's position. Islam's current frustration over the White House fight offer suggests that he feels genuinely wronged by Ilia's side, turning historical speculation into fresh ammunition for their ongoing media conflict and fueling the brawl.
All right, now, this entire thing is predicated on the idea that you have Islam's side and you have Ilia's side, and there's always what the red corner says versus the blue corner, and you have interpreters, and you get lost in translation. Like, we understand absolutely 100% of those things, but boy, they're close. Right, I mean, of a typical story, there's my version, there's your version, and then there's the truth. On a typical story, it sure sounds like these guys are saying the same thing. And for whatever reason that this is the topic that gets Islam's panties in a bunch.
Here, Islam's counterattack comes to light. He blames Ilia for the fight falling through due to money demands. This is a classic tactic in a press conference brawl, shifting blame and painting the opponent as greedy. Chael, however, immediately adds nuance, acknowledging the two sides and the potential for misinterpretation. This segment perfectly illustrates the back and forth, with Islam launching an accusation and Chael quickly dissecting the complexities, setting the stage for who truly holds the high ground in this explosive dispute.
Let's just break down the math real fast. Okay, if Islam is at 170 pounds and Ilia Topuria has been out on the injury list, whatever you want to call that when a guy is heartbroken, whatever that is, but he's removed to the point that they had to come in and do an interim belt. So now he's going to return, coming off of the sidelines, he's going to return, and he's going to do it in a weight class that he's never competed in before. And we're supposed to be aghast. We're supposed to be offended as the audience that he would then ask for more money.
Chael expertly refutes Islam's blame here, providing concrete reasons why Ilia's demand for more money was entirely reasonable. Topuria was coming off injury, moving up a weight class he'd never fought in, potentially against the pound-for-pound best. This isn't greed. It's a fighter's strategic leverage in a high-stakes scenario. Sonnen is essentially defanging Islam's financial attack, showcasing Ilia's calculated approach to a high-risk brawl and reinforcing his perceived aggression in seeking the fight on his terms, further heating the conflict.
Like we're supposed to go, oh my God, Ilia cost him the fight. Here's Ilia coming off the reserve list, apparently to go against the number one ranked guy pound for pound in the world. It depends whose ratings you look at. Some say it's Islam's and Some say it's Ilia, but the very same list doesn't even have John Jones. So I'm just sharing. He's going to come off. He's going to do all of these things at a weight class that he's never done before to make believe that he's not going to ask for a bump in pay. I mean, nobody hates the renegotiation more than me. But Islam's argument is that the fight could have happened. It was held up on Ilia's side. So Ilia...
Sonnen continues his defense of Ilia, highlighting the sheer absurdity of expecting Topuria not to ask for a significant pay bump under these circumstances. To fight the perceived pound-for-pound best in a new division while coming off an injury, that's a monumental challenge that absolutely warrants fair compensation. This commentary directly counters Islam's claim, suggesting that the real Brawl isn't just about fighting, but about the economics of top-tier matchups and Ilia's justified stance in his pursuit of greatness, intensifying the feud.
I mean, nobody hates the renegotiation more than me. But Islam's argument is that the fight could have happened. It was held up on Ilia's side. So Ilia, who's not only left 145 to come chase you down at 155, who's not only called you out in the media, is now apparently even willing to go to 170. There's a price on it. It's not what he planned to do, but he's willing to do it. That sounds pretty good for Ilia's side to me. It sounds very much in line. Now, somewhere along the way in...
This clip is a mic drop moment in Ilia's favor. Sonnen points out that Topuria isn't just chasing Islam at 155. He's willing to go up to 170 if that's what it takes, even with a price tag. This demonstrates an unwavering, almost relentless attack by Ilia. He's not just talking, he's actively willing to cross multiple weight classes to get to Islam. This willingness to adapt and pursue speaks volumes about Topuria's intent and puts immense pressure on Islam in this ongoing narrative and media battle, escalating the brawl.
Islam committed that he was going to go back to 155. In the build-up leading into Jack, Islam had said, I am going to go back to 55. And I remember us over here at Bad Guy Inc. said, no, you never will. We're not saying that you're a liar. You're just, you don't know what you don't know. As soon as you get on the scale, I remember us talking about this. As soon as you get on the scale at 170 pounds, and you just realize how good you feel, how much better life is, that your genuine overall enjoyment of this thing called life, you are never going to go through the punishment and sacrifice of returning your body to 155 pounds. And sure enough, as soon as he weighed in at once.
This segment exposes a crucial inconsistency in Islam's public declarations versus his actions. He vowed to return to lightweight, yet Shale accurately predicted he wouldn't once he tasted the comfort of welterweight. This narrative directly undermines Islam's credibility in the brawl. It suggests that while Ilia is actively pursuing and making sacrifices, Islam's own commitment to a particular division wavers when faced with the realities of weight cutting and the lure of new opportunities. This discrepancy is a significant attack on Islam's consistency.
Like, Islam and I do not dispute the story. Islam will tell it the exact same way as I told it. Islam will not come out and say Chael is out there saying things that didn't happen. We'll say it the exact same way. But Islam reasonably believes that he's got the high hand. I don't see it that way. If Islam and Ilia never fight, and we're forced as historians to look back on this time frame and anoint one of these guys for legacy reasons, to anoint one of these guys, we got to go with the guy that tried to make the fight. We have no choice. We have to go with the guy that left his division and entered your division and put a finger in your chest.
Chael outlines the undisputed facts of the situation, leading to a powerful conclusion about legacy. Regardless of personal feelings, historians would have to credit the fighter who actively sought the challenge. Ilia, by moving up and putting a finger in Islam's chest, clearly fulfills that role. This isn't just a verbal jab. It's a strategic maneuver that positions Ilia as the aggressor and Islam as the one who retreated, undeniably winning him points in this explosive press conference brawl for the historical record.
If Islam and Ilia never fight, and we're forced as historians to look back on this time frame and anoint one of these guys for legacy reasons, to anoint one of these guys, we got to go with the guy that tried to make the fight. We have no choice. We have to go with the guy that left his division and entered your division and put a finger in your chest. You then left to another division, and by your own admittance, that guy was willing to even come to that division. I don't know that we ever need to see Ilia and Islam. Like that's a big fight. It's an interesting fight, but it's a big fight, and it's an interesting fight predominantly because it gets rid of one of them.
This segment extends the legacy argument, emphasizing that Ilia's willingness to pursue Islam across divisions solidifies his position as the aggressor. Sonnen hints at the true purpose of such super fights, not always to crown the best, but often to eliminate one contender. This sheds light on the high stakes of this brawl. Ilia isn't just seeking a fight. He's aiming to remove Islam from the picture, making his persistent attack a strategic move with profound implications for both their careers and legacies.
Like, that's the part that nobody ever really likes to admit when you make these. Somebody's, oh, must go. Nobody ever likes to talk about the fact that you're both painfully boring. But we got to put you on top of the bill. So we're going to put you against each other, not to find out who's better. We just want one of you gone. You're interchangeable mediocrities. Not that that's the case in this situation. I'm just sharing for you. Like, largely, that's what this talk keeps going about. Does it make any bit of difference if Ilia can put one on Islam's shin or Islam can drag him down to the canvas for 25? Does it make any bit of difference? Like, does your day change in the slightest?
Chael delves deeper into the philosophical underpinnings of these high-profile matchups. He suggests that the drive for these must-go fights often comes from a desire to clear the field, to eliminate one of the top contenders. This perspective elevates the Ilia-Islam brawl beyond personal animosity. It becomes a fight for supremacy and divisional dominance. The question of whether the fight makes any difference highlights the often overlooked motivations behind these explosive rivalries, emphasizing the cutthroat nature of the UFC's top echelons.
You're interchangeable mediocrities. Not that that's the case in this situation. I'm just sharing for you. Like, largely, that's what this talk keeps going about. Does it make any bit of difference if Ilia can put one on Islam's shin or Islam can drag him down to the canvas for 25? Does it make any bit of difference? Like, does your day change in the slightest? But this does seem to be the one. Right? This seems to be the one that's got the larger and heavier champion talking about. And if we're forced to discuss this purely through the media, purely looking back at a specific time frame, this move in the media is another win.
In this powerful closing statement, Chael confirms that this rivalry isn't just another potential fight, it's the one that has captivated the media and captured the attention of both champions. He concludes that when viewed purely through the lens of media engagement and strategic positioning, Ilia Topuria's sustained attack on Islam Makhachev has resulted in a clear win for El Matador. This validates the explosive press conference brawl as a significant chapter in their careers, with Ilia clearly coming out ahead in the public narrative.